This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. Use the links in the description to visit their store. All right, so we're doing another Modern Horizons 3 draft. We have Koram the Undertaker, who's pretty cool. I don't really think you're supposed to first pick him, but he's pretty strong, you know, as a... if you're in Jund, you're going to play him, and he's going to be pretty good, but you kind of have to end up there. So, I don't think Dreamtide Whale is very good. I think what we're looking at here mostly is Refurbished Familiar and Proud Pack Rhino. I feel like it's a lot easier to make the Rhino be pretty good. I mean, the Familiar is even good on 4, but if you don't have at least a few artifacts, it gets less good. This pack does have a bunch of artifacts, but unfortunately we can't take all of them. And I don't think the Etch Slith is particularly good to begin with. So yeah, I think we probably just take the Pack Rhino. Like, it's not exciting. Karam's definitely more exciting, especially because he's on, like, the bonus sheet. You know what? Let's just do it. I talked myself into it. We'll see if it's actually open enough, but being base green with the fixing in this format does make it possible, and he is really good. I mean, he draws you extra cards effectively every time he attacks. So, okay. This pack is not very good, especially when we're trying to be one of these colors. I mean, Victimized has been better than I thought. Like, I've had decks, if you have the 2 mana, look at your top 4, put one in your hand, make a 0/1, like, Victimized gets pretty good. And Koram obviously can sort of set that stuff up. Like, that's the kind of cards we're going to want for this deck. But it takes a lot of setup. I think Breaker of Creation is a nice card if you're in one of the ramp decks, which we could end up in. And I think all 3 of these blue cards are pretty good. Solar Transformer's not bad. It does fix mana and stuff at a pretty low cost. But, like, none of this is strong enough to get me, like, super excited about things. I think maybe I'll just take the Transformer. Gives you good fixing, and... yeah. Well, I could have had 2 Guardians of the Forgotten. Breathe Your Last isn't bad. Neither of these white cards are. May just have to abandon Koram, though. It's unfortunate the black-green deck's not that good. I mean, it can be okay, and maybe that's the route I should go, like, as our base for Koram. Probably makes the most sense in terms of random graveyard cards, like Evolution Witness. Yeah, I think we'll take the Evolution Witness, speaking of which. Okay, Repurposer is really good, no matter what green deck you end up in. Maybe we shift into an Eldrazi ramp deck, maybe we don't. We'll play it in, you know, in a Jund deck too, so it's a really good card. Another Breaker of Creation, and I have a Solar Transformer and an Eldrazi Repurposer. Yeah, can't really say no to that. Also works well with Koram. I mean, it'll give him 8 power if it's in the graveyard, so... okay, Voidcraw. So it's going to be maybe tricky to play Koram, but we've got the makings of a pretty good blue-green Eldrazi ramp deck. And seeing the Voidcraw kind of locks that in for me. I mean, you know, things could go strangely the rest of the way, but it feels like that deck is pretty open, the green-blue base. It's not impossible with the fixing in the set to splash Koram in a blue-green deck, but we'll see. We will see. Oh yeah, I just realized I'm wearing my colorless shirt, so I'm on brand if we do the Eldrazi route, so... should have just taken that first Breaker, too. Yeah. Looks pretty good so far. I mean, the Koram pick is a little bit weird, but if we'd taken that white card, it would have probably ended up feeling weird in the end, too. Well... okay. I think we take the Power Stone. I do like Breathe Your Last, but if we're not a base black deck, it's not something we can play. Wither and Bloom's pretty good on a splash, so it's worth a look. And Grim Servant is also not very good unless you're base black. This land could be useful for us, but it's pretty hard to say no to Power Stone when I have Breaker of Creation, so... okay, so the black-green thing is starting to look a little more likely, because It's a relatively late expanding ooze. I do like the Dream Drinker Vampire. Could take the landscape just for the mana. I don't hate that idea, actually. I feel like if I want the black-green expanding oozes, I'm probably going to get them because everyone knows that deck is kind of medium most of the time. Yeah, let's take Fixing. I mean, we have more Fixing, but Refurbished Familiar Wheeling all the way is intriguing. It makes me think, you know, maybe we do end up in black-green. I mean, it's too good for me to not take here. Demon Inferior is pretty good. I think it's what we take over some land. We're all over the place, kind of. That's for sure. We have some powerful cards, but yeah. So here's an Expanding Ooze. Seems like maybe black-green is going to end up being our base. We could probably already play the Breaker in this deck, even without Void Craw. So, Junk Diver could end up being useful. Ashling is pretty good, but not like completely insane, so I don't think we have to like go crazy here and take it. There's a Stump Stomp, which fixes for Koram, and it's just a good card. If we're going black-red, obviously, this is good. Oh, there's also a Malevolent Rumble, though. That card has been so good. And in a Koram deck, it'll be especially good. It also ramps our mana for the Breaker. It's crazy, but I think maybe it's better than Stump Stomp, the way the format has panned out. Like, the Rumble is just so good. They're comparable, I think, but this does more stuff synergistically for us. I mean, this does fix our mana, but it's not like we don't have any fixing for Koram yet. So, yeah, I think we take the Rumble here. There are some good commons in this set, people. Some of them are too good. Like Writhing Chrysalis. Malevolent Rumble's probably in the conversation as being a little too good. It's not quite as insane as the Chrysalis, but... okay. A lot of good stuff here. I do think we take Eladamri. Like, he basically draws you extra cards and can occasionally cheat something like Breaker of Creation into play, which you don't get the cast trigger, but it's still a huge, hard-to-kill creature. I do like Territory Color as well, but I think Eladamri is better than the color. Okay. What? Isn't this, like, supposed to be super rare? Are we just going to build a Koram Commander deck now? I kind of feel like I have to. I'm glad I took that first one. Okay. So we're really all in on Koram now, which, you know, I don't think that if this were high stakes, I don't think I'd do it, but how am I supposed to not do it? All right, Nightshade Dryad's great. Fixes our mana, ramps our mana. It's what we want. I do like the Safekeeper, and, like, I would play it, but I think Nightshade Dryad's better. A lot of the best commons that are happen to be at least partially green, which is kind of a problem too, but... like, this card is legit, and the more self-mill we have, the better. Yeah, I mean, it is the real deal. It just takes a little bit of work, but we're already doing an okay job of that, I think. Yeah, this pack is pretty sad after how things have gone so far. The Dread Mask is plenty good. I don't know for sure that I want to play it in this deck, where I've already got, like, Breaker and Koram ×2, but yeah. I mean, there is an off chance we still end up in green-blue as our base, I guess. And if that's the case, Sage of the Unknowable is pretty good. Wouldn't hate Planar Genesis, but I think we'll take the Dread Mask. Ooh, Propagator Drone, yes please. Ramps our mana and is just, like, insane if they don't kill it most of the time, because Evolve to tokens is stupid. So, wouldn't hate another Twisted Landscape, but the Propagator Drone's too good to pass up. Yeah. I guess we're still not really completely locked in on our secondary color. I mean, ideally it's one of these two, and so that makes black the most likely. Ooh. Happy to take a Repurposer here. I do like Breathe Your Last, but Repurposer is real good. So, green, black, and white, huh? That does fix our mana. I do like Nyxborn Hydra. Some nice red cards here, especially the Pyro Surfer. I feel like we have enough ramp stuff that I'm supposed to take the Hydra over the land. Because I think we can already play Koram with what our mana looks like. And, yeah. This should not still be here. That is such a good common. Yeah, we'll play this. It is... Yeah, it gets us... doesn't get us black, but... it does get us red, and we're going to have, like, one mountain in our deck, so... it can grab it. Okay, so I'll grab the Hunger Tide Rises. Don't know that it'll make the cut. It is get better with Propagator Drone, I suppose. Doubt we have enough artifacts to make Imskir make sense. We have 4. It's not impossible we pick up more and splash it, I guess. Solstice Cell, it's pretty good, too. Yeah, green has been real open. The other Koram colors, not so much, but that's okay. Nyxborn Hydra is kind of a bummer with Koram. This card's sweet if, you know, you've built around energy like the whole draft until now, and we definitely haven't. Another land that's not terrible for us. Also got another familiar, which... yeah, we've got 4 artifacts, which I think is plenty, and it'll be our 5th. And it's a very strong card. I think I like it a little more than Evolution Witness. Yeah, this land does not really help us, unfortunately. I wish it did. Neither of these have been very impressive. Orum's Chant is as bad as I expected. I had a lot of people argue with me in the comments of my set review that I was so wrong about Orum's Chant, but I wasn't. So, anyway. I was wrong about some other stuff, but not Orum's Chant. Like Hydra Trainer, for example, I was wrong about. It is probably what I'm supposed to pick here. We don't have that many low drops, and it'll be okay. Gravedig, also a card I was wrong about. See, so this pack tells the whole story. So is the Charge Bug. Not by as much as these 2 cards, though. Yeah. Hydra Trainer it is. Land that helps us a little. We've got a Trickster's Elk. I'd probably just take the Elk. It's not an exciting pick, but it's plenty good. Don't like Idol of False Gods, even in a deck where I'm like kind of ramping and stuff. It is an artifact, which makes our 2 refurbished familiars better, but I don't think that's enough. Don't think it's enough. Okay. We do have some tokens, but I'm probably supposed to take Breathe Your Last. We don't have that much in the way of removal, so yeah. Sometimes you end up in a deck where this thing actually works. It doesn't usually, like the set doesn't have enough of the token theme in black, but sometimes it works out. I will happily take a Brood Scale here. This does check all graveyards, which is nice, because it's going to be like a 3-5 most of the time in our deck, I feel like. Which is not that exciting. Ooh, I really just messed things up. Okay, so I do think we take Bridgeworks Battle. We do need more removal, and it's a good land. I wouldn't hate another Expanding Ooze or another Breathe Your Last, but I think this is better by virtue of being a land, basically. The landscape would give us more fixing, but I think we're actually okay on mana right now. I do like Scurrilous Sentry, and these lands don't help us much. Also does graveyard stuff. Oh, Stump Stomp is great. Gives us fixing. It's another removal spell. Yes, please. So, yeah. I don't know that we're going to play Shattered Landscape, but I think it's the pick up there. This deck looks fun, if nothing else. Like, Koram Value Town is gonna be a good time. You're definitely not supposed to get 2 Korams. Like, it's on the... I think they're just as rare as Special Guest, but maybe they're not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Seems like I must be. Because Because it's like, wait a second. They must only be as rare as the bonus sheet or something. Well, deck looks interesting. It got a lot better. Those last few picks where we picked up a couple of MDFCs that are removal spells. One of them fixes for Koram, like, pretty good stuff. I wish I could play Pyro Surfer, but, like, you do kind of need to play it on turn 2. This also helps us with mana. Ooh, free Expanding Ooze. I mean, that's, you know, the black-green deck. If you try to build a regular black-green deck, it doesn't pan out that well in the format. Black-green base where you're actually doing Koram things is like a whole other animal, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Yeah, okay. So this gets us green and red, which we like. This gets us black and red, which we like, although a little bit less. Like, green is the one we want the most. This gets us green and red, and I just took it out of our deck. And this one gets us the exact Koram colors. We did pass a few of those, which is a little sad, but yeah. We only need one mountain. We have some self-mill, and there's a chance it goes wrong, but then we have Solar Transformer around and Nightshade Dryad, so it's not like we're completely out of luck if that happens. And then our MDFCs are both green. One of them's also red. Yeah, there it is. So I could probably get away with cutting a forest. And then maybe I cut Shattered Landscape too. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We probably want one more land, like 100% of the time land in the deck, and it's going to be a forest. So we need to make one cut. Where does that cut come from? I mean, we have a few cards that aren't great. The Power Stone ended up not being amazing in our deck, I guess. I mean, it's good with Breaker of Creation, but beyond that, it also makes our familiars better, I guess. Yeah, it might be the Hunger Tide Rises. I do like how it combos with Basking Brood Scale, and it can potentially search up Koram in a pinch, but it's just so slow. I haven't been very impressed with it overall. If I had like 2 Propagator Drones, that would be different. So I think that's probably the card that makes the least sense in our deck. Power Stone is maybe somewhere on that list too, but yeah. Looks like a pretty cool deck overall, and relatively powerful, I think. So, we'll see how it goes. Let's see how this wacky deck goes. Well, we have them in our opening hand. I don't love that we're not doing anything the first couple of turns. But, like, I do have removal. It's not a great hand. If we're up against one of the aggro decks, we're going to be in for some trouble. But it's also kind of a hard one to send back. I mean, it's a close one, but I do think we keep it. Seeing one of those makes it a little less likely it's an aggro deck. Doesn't mean it's not, but, you know, you do tend to play fewer of those in an aggro deck. Okay, so they're rumbling. Interesting, interesting. So they're a blue-black card draw deck is what they are, but they don't seem to have blue mana yet, which is... Well, they could have it in their hand, I guess, and they just wanted to cast Malevolent Rumble this turn. I guess putting the Sneaky Snacker in the graveyard is pretty sweet. Well, it is nice to actually draw. That also means they can play Koram next turn. And, yeah, they don't have a creature in their graveyard. Well, they're not going to have one in their graveyard for long, I guess would be more accurate. But it's probably wise to just play Koram as soon as we can. I mean, they did... it's not a permanent. They didn't have a choice, I guess. I'm thinking of just slamming Koram here. Yeah, let's do it. It'll be a 2/5 until Sneaky Snacker goes back to their hand. I mean, we drafted this deck to play Koram, so we're going to play Koram. See if they have removal. It's not a disaster if they do, but obviously I'd prefer that they didn't. It'd be more fun if they didn't. Okay. So we kind of have to kill the commie. And not with Bridgeworks battle, because that will go very, very wrong. So yeah, let's go ahead and build your last, breathe your last, and attack. Shouldn't have played a land already. That was dumb of me. There are other routes I can take here. But I think this is probably the best one. Maybe. The more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's... And then we'll attack. If I hadn't played a land, I'd feel better about all this, but... Unfortunately... Of course we hit 2 lands. Oh boy. Okay. That is not good. Land, land. And expanding ooze. Well, could have been worse. They had the same problem I had where they, you know, played a land and stuff. I guess if I can get an expanding ooze into my graveyard, then I can Bridgeworks battle. Yeah. Let's just play out our sentry here. Yeah, I think it makes sense to discard the ooze. Makes them both bigger. Freaking Crybomination. Trying to ruin our fun. Wonder if I'm supposed to block expanding ooze. It seems like a bad idea. Oh yeah, it puts a counter on itself, so it's a really bad idea. See what else they got here. Not feeling great about things, though, I can tell you that. But if I Bridgeworks battle and kill Crybomination, then attack with my Sentry, like, that's a pretty good turn. I don't think we attack with Koram, because Koram would die. At this point, it honestly might just be better to kill Expanding Ooze, too, is the other thing, because it's just going to keep getting bigger. Crybomination's never going to be bigger than a 5/5, although if I kill Crybomination, then my Koram will have 5 power. That's the flip side of that. Could also just play our Dread Mask here. It doesn't seem bad. I wouldn't hate trading that for the Ooze. Yeah, that's probably our best play. No attack, just play Dread Mask. We're not going to play Bridgeworks Battle as a land. Okay. So... So I could make Koram into... still not big enough. So we're definitely going to kill something here with Bridgeworks Battle. It's a question of what we do beyond that. And I think I'm supposed to kill the Ooze, although the Gargantua is not a bad choice because, well, no, they can grow it right now. They do. Oh, no, they don't. This isn't a spawn. Yeah. So I think we kill the Gargantua, actually, because we don't really want them to draw more cards. Then we have Menace here, and I think we just go for it. They can double block with the Apprentice in this, but I think that's fine by me. Well, if I discard... No matter what I discard, they actually can't. Having a Death Toucher seems pretty good. I think I'm actually going to discard the Hydra here. So they have to block with, like, real creatures. Interesting. I think maybe they overlooked that I was going to gain life there. I don't know. I don't know how else to... Or that it had one more toughness there. I don't know how else to explain it. So moving this to Koram is pretty fun. Koram's not really going to get to do much in this game, I don't think. Although it could happen. It would have done something if I wasn't dumb about my land. Yeah, that's a problem. Luckily, I still have a Death Toucher. We also have Out of Energy, so... Oh, no, we do have Nightshade Dryad, so we can... That does do something. Kind of think just moving this over to the Sentry is attractive. I mean, the downside is we lose this Germ. But, like, what do they do about that? Double block and... Sure, but, like, yeah, I think that's what we want to do here. Ooh, we can cast a Familiar, make them discard their last card. That's pretty sweet. Smash in for 11, that works. It was a removal spell, so I'm pretty glad we made them discard it. Yeah. Didn't really win because of Koram, but we played him early, and, you know, the fact that he was just sort of a big creature, you know, it mattered. Mostly one doing other stuff. Especially because I was dumb and missed out on a free land. Well, we've got him again, and we can play him on 3, thanks to Malevolent Rumble. Although, the Rumble is good when you have... It might set up Koram, too, in terms of power. Like, he might be an 8-5 or whatever. Don't really want to draw both of them, but I do have a few ways to discard, I guess. Another black-green deck, huh? Yeah, so let's Rumble. Well, he is going to have 8 power, probably. I don't think we put Breaker in our hand at this stage of the game. Seems like a pretty bad idea. I think we're looking at Familiar or Brood Scale. Don't have any artifacts in our hand right now. Still think Familiar is probably the pick. We can, of course, get stuff back with our Witness at some point, too, if we really want to. But yeah, he's going to be an 8-5, which is pretty sweet. And I do think we just run him out there because we have 2 of them. So... See if they have removal. Seems like somebody's inevitably going to do a variant, I can't think of the word, where you change the card's art and everything with, you know, the wrestler, the Undertaker. So they can kill Koram here with a double block, but I think we're okay with that. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I be? So... So I can play land. If they don't kill it, I get to go land refurbish familiar, which I could still do, actually. So it's too bad, because, yeah, I mean, I could play another Koram, and I think I do. Yeah, I mean, it's enough of a problem for them that I think we just do it. They're going to be like, seriously? You have 2 of those? How rare are they? Yeah, that is not big enough on its own to do the job. They might have the indestructibility trick or whatever. That would stink. Yeah, we don't want to play a land. Block, use the indestructibility trick would be pretty bad for us. They might be afraid to do it because they think we can interact. Yeah. All right, this time we're doing it the correct way. Should I play the Hydra Trainer? And then, like, Evolution Witness? That seems pretty good. I want to hold on to this because it's not hard to imagine a situation where elking something is optimal for us. Okay. Yeah, that is less than ideal. I could play our Dryad and fight this thing, which 2-for-1s me, but then I can attack with Koram. So, like, that's probably worth doing. What happens if I put Trickster's Elk? It would shrink to a 7/7 is all that would happen. Lose Reach and Trample, but that part doesn't really matter. They will still have a 4/5 Hydra after I do that. But honestly, with Koram in play, I think that's what I want to do. Yeah. Well, not going to be able to play either of those, but that's okay. They are at 4 now. Ooh, let's hope they don't cascade into anything good. Well, so much for that. Luckily, the trigger doesn't do anything, so we have that going for us. Alright, so we definitely want to make them discard their last card. Guess if I'm going to attack here, I'm going to regret having played that land. permanents do we have? I guess the breaker would be pretty good, but I don't have the mana. Another familiar. The dread mask is pretty good. Is it going to be better to use one of these than to play the ooze? Probably not when they're at 4, and going wide is like our best bet. Like, if they brick on drawing a land here, they're... I mean, if they draw a land here, they're dead, basically. So... They did not, unfortunately. Huh? Why would you do... What are you thinking? Yeah, I'll take 11. Doesn't 4 get in, like, no matter what they do? Because I have the mana to adapt everything. 3, 5, 7, 5 attackers, 4 gets through. I am surprised by that. I can even elk this if I want to be careful. But it's definitely better to just... Well, elking it would work. Because I could do the Hydra Trainer Exert thing. It is bigger, but it doesn't have reach anymore, so... yeah, so... I could win in many different ways, I guess. Yeah. Somehow I don't think they saw all the different paths to lethal that we had. Like, swinging out would have worked too, but, you know. I think. But I wanted to make sure, so I was trying to do as much damage as possible. Well, Koram definitely did stuff in that game. Altar. That's the word from earlier. An altar. Okay, this seems alright. It's a hand where we might actually play the breaker. Could cheat it into play, potentially, even, too. Although, it's not nearly as good when you're not gaining 8 life, but hey. Okay. That might be a problem. Wonder whether I'm supposed to play Eladamri. Oh my god. So if they get any counters at all, things are going to start going pretty crazy. I think it's definitely better to play the Repurposer. Not only does it ramp our mana, it can kill one of them. So... I mean, and after it dies, we go to 4, 5, 6. We'll be only 1 mana short of Breaker. Ooh. Yeah, that's suboptimal. Oh my god. Well, I think we're gonna lose this one. They had like the nut draw. Evangel into all of that nonsense. 4, 5, 6. I am going to cast our breaker just to do it, but we're pretty much going to be dead. But yeah, we'll rumble here. Another repurposer. Sure. This is the kind of hand where we'd be able to play Emrakul if we had Emrakul. But yeah, it's actually not even going to gain us that much life because we're just going to have 5 colorless per minute. Oh my goodness. You gotta let them have it, you know, when they get a draw like that. Okay, so we're gonna have to block. Even Breaker of Creation ahead of schedule isn't gonna get us there. Which is kind of nuts. Yeah, we only gained 6. Yep. Metastatic Evangel, yeah. That's not going to go well if you don't remove those quickly, and we did. Okay, I do think we can keep this. Obviously, we pretty desperately need to draw that 3rd land, but we will, right? And the Brood Scale can kind of, in a pinch, sink mana into it and get a spawn and go from there. Man, we've gotten Solar Transformer in turn 2 like every game. I think we do it again, because if we draw a land, we can play Koram and potentially set up some stuff for the next turn. Hey, there's a Brood Scale. We do draw land, and I think we go for it. Because we can use Scurrilous Sentry to potentially, you know, give him power. If we have to. If there's not something scary enough, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have enough power. You know, I'll just attack for the value trigger. Which could grow him as well. Yep, they're just going... That does mean we'll have an attack here. We hit another Koram. That's pretty funny. We do get a land. That's the more important thing here. I think we play Scurrilous Sentry next. I mean, I could play Repurposer and Brood Scale instead. But, yeah, I think... We don't really need the red mana, but I kind of want this to be a 3/4 if I can. And also giving Koram some power wouldn't be a bad idea. Seems like Evolution Witness is going to have something to do at some point. I can play the Dread Mask next turn. The Brood Scale might be the odd man out here. So they do have a bunch of mana. There's a Wumpus Aberration, okay. So, yeah, I guess we just play our Dread Mask here and pass. Yep. Wouldn't be a bad spot to draw Breaker of Creation. I mean, I think I go for a trade here. If they have a trick, so be it. But I can still move around the mask, so I'm not... Yeah. I'm not too upset about it. I'm a little more upset about that, though. Yeah, they're just playing things that are way too big for us. See if we can get him to discard something good. Then we're going to equip... I guess the sentry? Yeah. Yeah. It has enough power to hold back all those things. Uh-oh. As if their creatures weren't already big enough, you know? Come on. I don't like how this one's looking. Need to draw removal to grow Koram. I mean, my sentry can attack kind of well. Okay. Well. Can at least turn the Tusker into a 3/3. I mean, they could still move stuff, you know, this to it, but... that does seem pretty good. Also means our familiar can attack. So if the sentry dies, getting it back again with Evolution Witness wouldn't be too shabby. Yeah, let's play the Witness. Their board is definitely more imposing than mine. Thanks to their own Dread Mask. So that makes that a 9/9 all on its own. And keeps it alive when they do that. So. I think what we do here... 9/11... Yeah, I think we triple block it. And grow the Witness to get back the other Koram. See how they divide the damage, I guess. They're okay with keeping the sentry alive. Yeah, the Koram probably makes sense. It'll be bigger now, too. I think we attack with Scurrilous Sentry here. Maybe we attack with both. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, I think we attack with both. I don't think we're going to grow it anymore. They can't kill it anyway, so... You just take 11? Yeah. Okay, then we're going to play Koram. And Repurposer. So potentially next turn, all we have to do is move this and kill them with our refurbished familiar. See what they got. Of course they drew a reach creature. Goodness. It's maddening. Writhing Chrysalis, man. Not many cards could have saved them there between the Menace and the Flying. But the Chrysalis, that'll do it. Ooh. So, during each of your turns, you can play a land and cast a spell from among cards in graveyards that were put there from libraries this turn. I'm thinking I'm Malevolent Rumble here and see what happens, because I basically get all the cards. And if I can hit removal, I just kill the Chrysalis and should be able to set up us winning the game. So, I guess we'll see what happens here. Yeah, so there is a Stump Stomp. Doesn't help us a ton, actually. Do I want Eladamri? I probably do. Cheating cards into play from the top of our library is pretty easy right now. So, Stump Stomping the Chrysalis doesn't do much for us here, because it can grow to 11 toughness. And there's nothing... Yeah, there's no way I can cast it. I mean, not the way I want to. We do still cast it. Just, to kill this and get our 3/3. That actually seems pretty good. Oh, that's the wrong one. There's two Trickster's Elks. I got that wrong. I meant to kill this. And then we'd have slightly more going on than them on our side of the table. Slightly more. Which makes a difference when they're at 7 and we're trying to find a way... Oh, God. How are they drawing like this? Writhing Chrysalis into Titan's Vanguard is your top deck here? It's messed up, man. Messed up. So an attack next turn from them would be pretty scary. Land on top, huh? So, bestow for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would make it have 8 toughness. If I do it here, it might be a little bit better. Then I attack, throw the land away. If I leave 1 green untapped, I may even be able to cheat a creature into play. Could also just play it as a huge trampler. Yeah, let's bestow our Scurrilous Sentry here. It's really unfortunate this has Trample, actually. That probably means I shouldn't attack. What a bummer. Because they can double block, but then they have a 10 power creature and a 5 power creature. And this is just going to get bigger. So I think I just have to have this here as a deterrent until we can kill Writhing Chrysalis, basically. They have more cards in their deck than I do. I kind of doubt the game's going to go to that point with the whole Titan's Vanguard Writhing Chrysalis thing going on over there. So I'm just going to block it and we'll see what happens. They might be able to get it back and then cast it again. Ooh, or do that. Yeah, should have expected that maybe. Since it was exactly, well, not exactly, but close to exactly enough. Okay, we've got a familiar which will draw us a card. I think that means we cast it off the top. Draw us into our Nightshade Dryad. 2 familiars is nice too, although them being at more life now is not. Okay. Okay, so no attacks for us. I'm hoping we can dig into our find the removal spell that we need so badly and in this thing, but might not happen. Eladamri does make it more likely. So there's that. We'd have our breaker somewhere too, which would be helpful. But removal would be helpful in the more immediate future, so. Well, that's interesting. Trample, trample, trample. So, they've got to have something here to kill me. Because why else would they give up their reach creature? Well, definitely blocking with that, because the Death Touch there will do the job. I think we'll just block with all of this. So 12, 15, 16. They can get it to 16 toughness, but that should be it. And, ooh. Am I supposed to throw something else in front of it? I think I am, unfortunately. Because, yeah. Because if they kill one thing, we would have been in trouble. Okay. They had decided to give up and see if they could swing for lethal. Got it. That scared me. I was like, maybe they had, you know, the double its power trick. That would have been bad. The red-white double power trick. Okay, another pretty good hand. Solar Transformer has loved us and might give us a turn 4 Quorum. Quorum hasn't really taken over any games, but it's generated a little bit of value here and there. And been like a body that just sticks around on the board. This is what I was trying to draw in that last game. Got our Power Stone, too. We really look like we're an Eldrazi deck. Which we kind of can be, I guess. Player Transformer. Yeah, we can go turn 3 Koram again, and if we get in like one attack with Koram on like an empty board, that tends to be pretty good. I could play the Power Stone and try to... Ugh. I could play the Power Stone and try to ramp, but I think this is probably better. Kozilek's Unsealing is pretty annoying. At least it has to be a creature spell, so if they kill Koram, they don't get spawns. They just kill Koram. They can bounce him. Okay. Yeah, I think we just replay him. That might have given them the time they needed, though, to keep me from getting a card or a couple free cards. Gross. Yeah, so they're going to Depth Defiler. Then they get some spawns. This one's going to be hard to win. We haven't really run into, like, a legit Eldrazi deck yet, and I have a feeling those are going to crush us for the most part. So Koram is no longer that great. I think we play our Ooze. Losing the last energy here is no small thing, though. Oh, we shouldn't have to use it. Yeah, we should be able to go Ooze, Brood Scale, and yeah, I mean, we have to hope they don't have another big, to have some big Eldrazi to slam here. Do I double block? I don't think so. Seems unnecessarily risky. Yep, so now they draw 3. Poor Koram. You were just too slow this game. So, yeah, we're going to turn that into a 3/3. And we're going to play another one of these. Okay, I do think we'll go ahead and block that. See what happens. Since we get an elk out of it, I think the trade was worth it. Oh my god, as if things weren't bad enough. They have Nadu. Well, too bad you weren't playing a bad card like that earlier. You played all these good cards first. We can kill Nadu, but, like, you know, we get 2 for 1 if we do it. Infuriatingly. But we kind of have to. Also uses our last energy, but we did draw Nightshade Dryad, so could be worse. That's funny that they hit their own breed your last. You do get to gain 2, so that's a thing. Yeah. I'm just gonna swing out here. Could be worse. We could be in a worse position. It's Chthonian Nightmare. That explains... That makes things so much worse. Because they're going to be able to, like, just get stuff back. I mean... Yeah. Right now, I guess getting Nadu back is the big nasty play. That's also a nasty play. Yeah, they bounce one thing and blow up our... So yeah, they can get back Nadu, like, right away. Don't love that. Don't love it. I'm gonna play out the Power Stone here. Yep. I kind of question the playing of either of these cards, but obviously it's going to work out pretty well for them here. I don't think either of them... I didn't like either in the set review, and I don't think either have performed well according to the data either, but... Getting back Nadu is pretty... It's pretty disgusting. Yeah. Yep. They could just get back, like, a Battle Mage for the body, too, if they wanted. Yeah, we don't really need this. Yeah, pretty sure we're dead. Pretty sure we're dead, but see what happens here. Yeah, the lack of reach. I guess maybe playing the Hydra would have been smarter, huh? They've got 5 energy now, so they're not that far away from bringing back something crazy. Okay. Well, let's play the familiar. Then we'll play the Hydra. How much mana do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we're gonna bestow it. I guess our own flyer makes some sense. So does the Dryad because of Death Touch? Yeah. Let's see. I mean, they may have a way to interact here. With all the mana, and they have 2 cards in their hand that we don't know what they are, so... Are we going to delay the inevitable? Maybe. That makes it less likely, though. They do seem to be drawing a lot of cards. I don't know what they're worried about. Because I'm still... I mean, I'm in a spot where I can, like, not die, but that's, like, the best I can do. So they don't need to really be drawing cards. Koram does mill a card when he attacks, so I don't know. I mean, I doubt the game's going to reach that point. But maybe it will. It is possible. That is very bad. So how big are you going to be? You're going to be a 4/5. Yeah, I think I sack the Dryad. I can't play Koram if I do that. But I can't really afford to go down a full creature. Yeah. So we sack our Dryad. They can get it back, yeah. That is pretty gross. Chthonian Nightmare plus Accursed Marauder. That should be able to do enough for them to get lethal through. Because they've got 5 attackers and I'm at 4 and they can just keep doing it. So, yeah. We will scoop. That is a pretty good combo, Chthonian Nightmare, Accursed Marauder. I wonder what the win rate is on the Nightmare. I can't imagine it's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's 55.3, so it's right around average. So that is better than I expected it to be, certainly. I think I gave it an F in the set review, and it's more like a build around C. Yeah, I think we can keep this because of the Rumble. I think we're probably supposed to play it on 2, although maybe you could talk me into Hydra Trainer. Not having green for Eladamri next turn is kind of a bummer. Maybe it is better to play the Trainer. No, we're going to Rumble. The Trainer does put them under more early game pressure, but it's not like that's the kind of game this deck's going to win. Fetch land. No matter what I grab, I'm not going to have double green next turn for Eladamri. I was kind of hoping I'd hit... I mean, I hit a bunch of mana that can get me green, but none of it will be able to do its thing next turn. The Transformer is slow, but it does fix all of our mana and helps us cast Breaker of Creation. So does the Dryad, but it's a lot more fragile. Yeah, let's take the Transformer. Also means if we get a... if we get our legendary creature guy, hey, look, we're going to be able to do it anyway. And I think we do. I like Scurrilous Sentry being on top. But yeah, if we get Koram, he'll have 1 power at least. What do we have on top? So an interesting thing we can do here is, since we have a creature on top, I can play Hydra Trainer and then use Eladamri's ability to put the Ooze in play. The question is whether that's worth doing. I mean, it does give me multiple bodies this turn. It's probably worth doing. Yeah, it's probably worth doing. So yeah, we go Hydra Trainer. Then we do this. Ooh, I could put Breaker of Creation in play. Maybe that's just better, huh? It's probably just better. I was sort of overlooking that I could do that. I would rather gain life for sure, but... But if, you know, the Breaker has Annihilator 2 on this turn, so... There is one red card that can kill it, unfortunately. The colorless... Actually, there's two. There's a common and an uncommon, so they might have it here. It still was the right play. I mean, it's the kind of play that has to be answered or they lose pretty unequivocally. So, you know, it's the right play. It is worse against red, because red is capable of actually killing a Breaker of Creation this early in the game. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, we attack with our Breaker here and get that Annihilator trigger. Gotta lose 2 permanents. I mean, even if they're lands, which they probably will be, because then they're gonna block with Nightshade Dryad. Like, that's a great deal. So... half of their lands at this stage of the game, after all. So, I could kill the Dryad. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. This is still an exchange we'll take every day of the week, so... we just wipe their whole board. And then, because we have Eladamri in play, we can still cast another spell. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. If we lose this game, I'm gonna be surprised. I mean, it's possible, I guess. It's just not, you know, likely. Yeah, I guess we just attack with everything here. I don't think we bother growing anything. Let's play the Sentry, because we... got a Repurposer on top, huh? Yeah, we'll just keep it at a 2-3. And hold on to that as a removal spell. Yeah, they can chuck this at Eladamri or something, but obviously that's it's not like it's amazing. Yeah, we'll discard another land. Okay. That should just about be enough to overwhelm them, I would think, with Bridgeworks Battle plus an attack next turn. Yeah. I'm glad I realized I had a better play than just playing an ooze off the top of our library. That early Breaker was nuts. I was glad they didn't have the, like, Ghostfire Slice or something like, you know, there's a 2-mana one that does 4 and a 3-mana one that does 4, and they're both devoid. So they can hit the poor guy. Okay, not a great hand, but on the play, I do think it's keepable. Nice. Man, the world really likes us to play our turn 3 Korams. Not that they've done that much. Like, we haven't had any game... I mean, it may have helped us win games. It's been more of a supporter than a... than, like, you know, our game-breaking play type thing. But we're going to play it here on an empty board because that's, like, the best time to play it, so... We get an attack in next turn, probably a free card, one way or another. Yeah, especially if they're stuck on 2 cards. Things are about to get... 2 lands, that is. Things are about to get... Got our Rumble, too. I think we only attack with Koram. That mana seems too useful. Alright, we don't do any damage, but... we do get a free Mindless Conscription, and I think that's where I'm going to go. Can use that to grab our red mana, too, while we're at it. Yeah, I don't really want to Rumble when I have Koram in play, just because I can get so much more value if I do it when I haven't played anything. Yeah, so we'll sack... Okay, yeah, they're going to scoop as well they should, because they're having mana issues, and... See, that game was when Koram was going to win us the game, but we didn't get to play it all the way through, but still. Playing him on 3 when they were, you know, mana screwed and everything was good. Okay, definitely keepable. You know, not having other colors of mana isn't great, but we're likely to draw them. I mean, the Rumble can probably dig us to one of them. So... I wonder whether I want to... I'd probably play Brood Scale. When it's a 2-2, I kind of think that's better to play out than the Rumble is. Although I guess... No, it's not like it has haste. I was going to say, I guess I would have the bodies in play potentially for the ability, but no, we're a couple turns away from that. That does make it seem like the Rumble might have been the better choice. We could use our other colors of mana, and also shuffles our deck. Like, Eladamri can show us what's on top first. So yeah, let's play Eladamri here. Okay. Oh yeah, it'll matter next turn what's on top, not this turn. We have another removal spell for Eladamri. Doesn't appear they do. Interesting having Nyxborn Hydra on top. I could cast it, bestow it, make this a 5/5, and then I have an attack here. And Eladamri's also a lot harder to kill the rest of the way. And then if they kill Eladamri, I have a 2/3. Actually, I guess I can't bestow it. Yeah, the way that's showing is that I can't bestow it. Okay. So let's Malevolent Rumble then. Black mana, huh? I'd like some black mana. Yeah, I think that's what we... Well... Now let's grab our Hydra Trainer. Because I can get black mana at some point if I really want it. Yeah, and then we'll play... So technically, I couldn't bestow it because you can only cast them as creatures. I thought it would work because it's an alternate casting cost, but because it's not a creature at all, it doesn't. Yeah, that's sad. We did get one card out of him, so it's not a complete disaster. Okay, well... I'm just going to play out a bunch of mana here. It's not a terrible idea, honestly. Yeah, so we can play the Power Stone and the Transformer. I think we'll just do it. Sort of take a turn off, but... You know, in the future, we're going to have a lot of mana to play with. Ugh. Not good news. Also makes our familiar way cheaper, which is good. But yeah, I have a feeling they're going to be able to kill us before we can really do what we need to. We also only have one black mana right now. Which is not great. Yeah, so let's play the Ooze here. We're gonna sack this to grab mana, probably, but yeah, not yet. Although I'm definitely not blocking Cyclops Superconductor, so maybe I should just attack here and offer the trade for the auxiliary. Yeah. I don't want to block the Superconductor because they can sack it and have it do damage and all that nonsense, so... But yeah, it seems like we're going to get run over here. Oh my god. As if things weren't bad enough. Yeah, so they can just hit... Can they just do lethal here? 4, 7, 10. Not quite, but pretty much. Drops us to 1. So the Superconductor dying is game over. Yeah. Can't cycle it. Yeah, we're dead. But hey, I think getting to 5 wins with this kind of wacky deck was a good job. It was a good job. I'm happy with it. Got to do some silly stuff with Eladamri. Koram played a role, you know, and he was sort of the card. I'm sure he's the card on the thumbnail. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.